Hello and welcome to Kump. As you can see, the screen behind me, it's blank, but this is Kump. Okay, I got there's a laptop that controls this, right? It's not, I didn't have someone make a sign that was etched out of, elven fucking marble. Well, that's gonna get us demonetized right away. It's a computer screen. You can see, and it's nothing in my life works except Batman. So
when is this gonna stop?
We'll get to that, and never, and we'll get to that. This is great. So we're moving on. We're doing it live. Welcome to the show, Lucie.
Hello.
Everyone's happy to see you. People have thought, you.
We don't know that yet.
Well, I'm sure they think you've been chopped up in my basement or whatever. You wish.
They're happy to see I'm okay. Yeah.
Let's hope. Now they're gonna be like, oh, there was a gun to her head. There was a gun with a rope tied to the trigger off camera. No one believes me anymore. But thrilled to have you here.
Thrilled to be here.
And we talk about we were on the Patreon this week.
Yeah.
We're not discussing the project. That's her project. It's not your goddamn business until it's ready to be there for you to pay for it. All right? We're not here to we're not here to workshop Lucie's project with a bunch of random people. I'm sure some of you are skilled beer funnelers. Or is that the word? Where you funnel beer out of a radiator and your kid cries in the other room? That doesn't help in this situation. It's noble, but it doesn't help. I changed my hat.
Yeah.
At first I changed my shirt. Now I have a new hat. I don't know if I'm going to wear this all the time on the show, but it's a Met hat. We got back into the Mets. We're Mets fans now. You excited about that? Lucie, don't think she's doing it to please me. She was a Mets fan. You were actually kind of annoyed. Not like you're not being like a witch about it. But when I was playing the NBA during the playoffs, you're like, I like baseball.
Yeah.
And
I always say that. I always try to offer that as a concession, but it's kind of a shitty concession nowadays.
Baseball?
Yeah. So a lot of people don't even register baseball as a sport anymore, I think.
I mean, it's the uniforms. Nothing is less flattering to the male physique than a baseball uniform.
No.
I mean, you have to be built some of these guys are built like Greek guys. They still look kind of fat.
Yeah.
Something about the way the uniform sags, but it makes men who are Cespedes. When I first started watching the game a few years back, and I don't know if you know, Cespedes built like a fucking brick shithouse. Look kind of chubby.
Yeah. I mean, I think the only person I've ever seen who looks good in them is Conforto. Who's literally chiseled out of marble.
Well, I don't know if Conforto is more. But it's a slenderer kind of thing.
Yeah.
He's not. If you're muscular, you look less good.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if Conforto was a better built man than Cespedes. Cespedes would smash Conforto's face open probably.
Well, look,
but
naked.
He wouldn't.
I think maybe Cespedes would look better naked.
Sure.
But
we're in agreement there.
But Conforto in the uniform looks great.
Conforto has kind of the Derek Jeter body where it works. Mm-hmm. It works for that. Maybe for A-Rod. Maybe he's a little taller. Maybe he has to be taller to make it work. Maybe Cespedes was a little shorter. Whatever. This is not again. Who would you suck off first, Michael Conforto or Ted Clemens? Ted Clemens.
Ted Clemens.
Roger. Who went? Ted Williams or Roger Clemens? Yeah, so we went to a Met game yesterday. Yeah. Which was exciting. We had some misadventures.
You got me a little hat filled with ice cream.
Well, let's do it in sequential order. That happened at the end of the night, and there was a very nice cap to a loss, but still nonetheless fun. But we go. I have a backpack. All right, first of all, Lucie thought it was kind of crazy. I spent. I didn't cheap out on the tickets. I got decent tickets. Yeah. Spent a little. I mean,
we had a great view.
I didn't spend $800, but I didn't go for the $15 tickets I used to go to when I go by myself with a little pocket radio and didn't have any money at all. I was literally oh, I can go for 15 and just take a subway and otherwise I can either watch the game in my windowless room in my old apartment. My apartment was literally a windowless room. And it was so hot in the summer. There was no AC, no nothing. And I'm just sitting here, it's melting. So I would just go to the game just to get a little breeze. And you go and SeatGeek and you spend $10, and the seats are fine.
Yeah.
But I don't, I'm trying to make Lucie convince you I'm a high roller. I'm a big shot. So we're in the 300 section, which is like, in the middle. It was nice, right?
Oh yeah, it was great seats.
And then I spent another $50 because I didn't think of it ahead of time. Get it for Amazon to get same day delivered a Best Buy radio or a Sony radio from Best Buy, just in case. Even though this time I'm going with my girlfriend, who I love, I want to make sure we have a radio so we can listen to the play-by-play announcers on AM radio.
See, I'm not sure what looks more insane, like you sitting alone listening to a little radio and watching the game, all hunched over,
right?
Or you with a lady,
yes,
and you have
a beautiful lady,
and you have one ear open for me, but one ear is for the radio.
Well, I think you were confused because it wasn't on all the time. But I didn't tell you when it was on. But I was, first of all, when I used to go, I wasn't hunched over because I just I cheaped out. I got like a $6 radio at like a dollar store, and it came with like the single earpiece, like the old timey one. But the length it only went like 3 inches, so I had a shirt like this. And I would just have it in my pocket, sticking out, bulging out of my pocket, but then go into my ear. And I was leaning back going, this is great. Because I'm not the biggest baseball expert. I need someone to tell me this is a suicide fly or a Greek topspin pitch or whatever the hell that's going on. I don't know. And I still like to know, sometimes you're like, I think this ball's going all the way to the moon, to borrow a phrase, and I'm cheering like a moron.
Yeah.
And then everyone else seems to understand that it's a pop-up fly. And I'm just going, I have to go, oh. I'm like, yeah, oh. Literally, it's just so people don't think I'm cheering.
Oh, I mean, to be fair, there were bigger idiots in the crowd. I saw people around us who were just it's in the bottom of the ninth. The Mets were losing badly.
They were playing poorly.
They were still like, let's go.
Yeah, you got a base hit. There's a few types of people. There's the people. Well, let's get to that in a second. But yeah, because we first get to the stadium, I have this backpack with me because of the radio. Because I needed to bring the radio, and I had the radio with an extension headphone cord and 2 pairs of earbuds, which I got for us also, and I got a splitter. So I could set this up so we could both listen, which you had wanted nothing to do with. But I prepared for the eventuality that you would want to be a crazy person too and listen to the radio with me. So we get to the stadium and they're telling me you can't have a backpack. Now I've been there before. I brought my backpack and there was no problem. And I'm like, what do you mean? I don't. And he's telling me something about $10. You can go some mobile truck that they'll store your things for $10. I went, this doesn't sound great. So he's like, and then some other people passed by with a bag. Like, you see, if you had a baby, you could have told him it was a diaper bag. I'm like, oh, I'll just tell him it's a diaper bag. And he laughs. I guess he thought it was joking. But we go, up to the next person who's stopping him, and she's like, some young girl, and she's like, I'm sorry, you can't have that bag. I'm like, it's a diaper bag. And then I didn't know if it was going to work, because it was obvious. I wasn't
It's clearly not a diaper bag.
Clearly, well, anything's a diaper bag if you put a diaper in it. I mean, that's just a truism of life.
This is where I keep the dirty diapers that I steal from other couples.
Yeah. Look, it's a diaper bag. It's just not full yet. But it is a diaper. It's a diaper bag. I just haven't found a diaper yet. And but I will. Mark my word. But I wasn't. I really wasn't trying. It's the confidence more than but it's the kind of confidence when there's confidence of actually trying to trick someone, and it's kind of it's a diaper bag, and she wasn't buying it.
Yeah.
She's like, all right, bring in that guy who's going to search your bag. She didn't say, but it's basically implication.
Because that opens up, if it is a diaper bag, it opens up a whole conversation that a security person who's making $10 an hour doesn't want to have.
Right.
If you end up saying yeah, it's not for a baby, you piece of shit. It's for my girlfriend who has weak bowels.
Well,
and I'm taking care of her. I'm being a man and I'm sticking with her instead of just dumping her on the side of the road like most men would do.
You think that's the move when it's me and you, that you're the one wearing the diaper? That's the move that gets believed first? Not the, I need diapers. Of course I need a diaper. Look at me. And they don't know.
It should be me, though.
It would look.
Because I look frailer. Like, I would. You look like you could keep control.
People, look, I have I don't need diapers, right? There's nothing about me. I don't shit my pants. I don't fucking leak shit out into my legs. Okay, it doesn't happen. But I think the average person, if I told them, hey, look, just because look at me, sometimes shit just comes out. All right, yeah, they believe it. It just seems right. Like, it seems fun. I don't think they think every fat person needs a diaper. But, like, they'd be like, yeah, okay, that tracks. With you, it's like they have to kind of start conceptualizing, like, cancers. It's weird. It could happen. Oh, she's got Crohn's disease. Or what's easier? You have Crohn's disease, or look at how I look. So the guy just, I go to the guy, and just the act of me go, diaper bag, and he just goes, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
Because he's making, probably $8, whatever, $10 an hour. He don't give a shit. He's probably like, they probably told him, look, you don't let people with bags in. Okay. All right, so no bag. Except if they have a diaper bag. And he's probably not a moron. So he's like, all right, so like, if I was trying to get in, like, so what if they say it's a diaper bag, but it's not? Well, you gotta do, and there's a whole, and then they start going through a list of permutations. He's like, I'm not gonna do that. Well, you can look inside, and the diaper, but it's not, and if the moon is half crescent, and he's just like, oh, fuck you, I'm just not gonna do that. So like, if they say it's a diaper bag, that's all I need.
Right.
He's just gonna go. They said it was a diaper bag.
Sure.
So I got in, and then the metal detector went off, and he just says probably your keys, and I was like, yeah, probably is, but okay.
Little did he know it was your gun hand.
I just happen with the gun hand sometimes. It's just in the wet weather, it starts to be detected by metal detectors. I don't know. So I got in. That was fun.
What happened to that yearbook you got?
It's on the bookcase.
In the entrance.
It was.
I just passed right by that stand because it seemed like.
Well, it's a program.
Like a scam.
It's the same as a program, I thought, which I think it is a program. And the program is kind of thing I would never buy, but I was trying to be loosey goosey with the money. I was trying to be like, yeah, let's live it up. Let's not be cheapskates. I wanted to signal to you that this was a night out, and we're gonna do it up. And like, program, yes, please, $15, nothing to me. She's not with a cheapskate. Look at her. She's happy. She's a happy woman. Don't think I'm taking her gun hand point. She's not here against her will. I'm whining and dining her with the Mets yearbook, which is a dumb. I looked through it, and I think I'm just going to throw it out because it's literally, most of it's just like ads for like, boat rentals and like, and just, fences and like fence installation companies. And then just a page goes Michael Conforto and like his like batting average. I thought it was gonna have like stats.
It doesn't list all the stats.
Doesn't seem to. I didn't go too heavily into it.
What the fuck?
I think they really fucked me.
Let's go find that old man and beat the shit out of him.
Yeah, honestly, like we never got a program. Remember my mom telling me a story. We went to a game. I remember the Yankee game as a kid. I didn't know what was going on, but someone dropped a program on her head from an upper level. And then she proudly tells a story like, well, the guy was like, oh, I'll come down and get it because it smacked her pretty hard. It's a kind of a heavy book.
Sure.
And she's like, no, I'm keeping it, which I respect. Like, you dropped this on my head, now I keep it.
Yeah.
It's fair exchange. Go buy another program, you dumb fuck. Okay, hold on to your program. But I don't know what they call it, a yearbook now, which seems lamer.
Yeah.
So whatever. So I bought that. Lucy wasn't impressed. She thought I was a moron, apparently. She thought it was a real idiot.
I was impressed. I mean, I didn't know that it was full of boat ads if I had known that. But
did you get a little tingle like, oh, he don't give a shit?
I mean, look.
Were you like the way women respond to money and power? Was there a little version of that?
Are you buying the Mets yearbook?
Yeah. Well, I mean, just like, look.
Let's say yes.
Look, it's a spectrum, right? And like
Sure.
on the spectrum, I'm not the cheapskate who goes $15. Who could afford that? Not worth the money. That's a recipe for dry pussy, right? Oh God. Oh, $15. That'll take me, 6 hours at the butcher shop to work off. No. You're telling me nothing sexual happened in your mind when I handed that man my debit card.
It was very attractive.
Thank you.
I mean, I wish you didn't have to do overtime at the butcher shop because of it, but
Well, look, you have these moments. You work your ass off to have these moments, these nice days. You don't think about the fact that that could feed our kid for how much kid food can you buy for $15 a day, 2 days? We don't have a kid yet, but I mean, what's it cost to feed a kid a day?
That's a good question. I feel like it costs less than people make it out to be.
Yeah, you put it on your tit.
Yeah, you put it on for the first couple of years, you put it on your tit.
Couple years?
Well, okay, that's a year and a half.
I mean, you could, look, honestly, if you want to save money, we could just keep, that happened.
No, there was a lady on, a magazine cover who, breastfed, she used the tit for, 5 years.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's the kid looked healthy. He looked like a little,
people keep complaining
little boy
about,
of the mountains.
oh, I got kids I gotta feed. Why'd you tell your wife to stop tit feeding them? What is this? You had another.
So that's a 2 years tit feed. And then what do they need? I feel like that most of these kids eat peanut butter and jelly all day.
Yeah. I mean, not the athletes.
Yeah.
We were on kids to be an athlete. So
rice and beans? How much is a
rice and beans? That's good because they make the perfect protein.
Giant bag of rice. How much is that?
$1.
Yeah.
No, it was like that huge bag I bought right before the pandemic that we just kept in case it all went to shit. The night before the pandemic really hit.
Yeah.
I bought a 20-pound bag of rice for $10, $20.
Yeah.
And I could feed you for a kid. You just put that you make that as bed and he just eats the rice raw.
Yeah.
Just a rat kid just going. I mean, I would just bury the way you put a phone that got wet into a bag of rice. I would put my baby in there, and then it would just kind of absorb. Maybe no, all right. I wouldn't do that. I would make a really big. I would use that 20-pound bag of rice and make 20 pounds of rice worth because it's gonna be more with the beans. But use it all and make rice and beans. And then because it's going to absorb the protein through the skin. All right? I'm going to create a super Kump.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's going to be a baseball boy. And he's going to be in the Mets yearbook one day. selling boat rentals.
But yeah, my cousin was making that point that it's people think that it's so expensive, but it's just diapers and then what?
Yeah, but their kids also, just
my little niece or cousin.
I feel like that kid's just stealing out of my wallet when I'm looking.
Yeah, you teach the kid to pickpocket. Yeah,
I feel like she's like a Dickensian character. Great kid. We don't want to name names, but great kid. But that kid's gonna end up being profitable. She's gonna have schemes going. No, I mean, look, my scheming, took me a long time to gestate. I don't know, we're going off on a tangent here, but but I want to take a cue from that and train our kid to be some kind of to work people over. So maybe have your kid teach your kid to be a slip and fall artist.
Yeah.
Just start crying, and then I come over what happened? And go, I fell on the wet rock. What do you do have a wet rock here? Why is there a wet rock here? and people freeze. That's the thing. The key to these things is you can't just freeze. But people will, because I'm just a maniac. My kid's crying, and I'm like, wet rock. This is a problem. Someone is going to cost a lot of money to fix this. You got wet rock all over my kid. and they go, we got to settle this. And then you come over. And you start, offering up figures, maybe.
Oh shit! We could teach our kid how to dislocate their limbs.
Well, now we're getting into prison territory.
But not in a painful way.
I don't think a judge is going to distinguish that.
We could make them double jointed and never let anyone know.
We could teach our kid to break their leg. We could teach our kids to stay locked in the closet for a week.
Teach them how to withstand an extraordinary amount of pain.
Yeah. We could do it.
And then use that for profit.
I'm going to teach my kid to get punched by me. What are you talking about? There's a fine line here. And you're way over it. Look,
I guess double jointed isn't something. I forgot that double jointed is just something you are, right? It's not something you can teach.
Hear me out. Well, I guess with enough trial and error, you could figure it out, maybe. Hear me out, though. We cut off one of our kids' legs, but we get that way they can remove the leg when it's profitable.
It's a prop leg, yeah.
Yeah, it becomes a prop leg because the original leg has been sawed off. I mean, that's what you're saying to her. Your Honor, I got her a new leg. I don't know what the problem is here. I can understand if I cut off my child's leg for fun or torture, but this was a business decision. My kid's got to eat, so why can't they pony up a little bit? I mean, it's 2021, Your Honor. We have decent legs now. Am I right? I'm waving my gun hand. But yeah, we go to the stadium. I took some. What else happened? 1 second, because I pretended to have a diaper bag.
We saw some talking heads on the screen, on the jumbotron.
Refresh my memory.
Remember those? We saw those guys. The guy and the girl. The talking head. The Mets correspondents at Met Stadium.
Oh, what, the one you wanted to be?
Yeah.
The Lucie got in her head that she wants to abandon all hopes of stand-up, of her various writing and producing projects, and she wants to be the woman at Citi Field who wrangles drunk fat men and tells them to throw a beanbag at a target, and they win a $5 gift certificate to Chili's, and she's like, this is all I want.
I want to work at Met Stadium. I think it would be fun.
First of all,
I'm so much better than that girl too. I could do.
Where do you want to work?
I could do a much better job.
Where do you want to work?
I mean, Citi Field.
Met Stadium. It's
Stadium.
never been called Met Stadium, by the way. It's never one. It was Shea Stadium for years. Now it's Citi Field. I want to work at Met Stadium. I mean, you're sure to get the job now. You show up drunk, probably. I want to work at Met Stadium. Well, you're not. That's not where we are. And
it's always been my dream to work at Mets City House.
Mets City Beef, Western Beef.
Ruth Chris Mets House.
Yeah. Mets and Walensky's. But what about that attracted you? That position she was holding.
I just like that you can your only job is to have a kid, swing at a wiffle ball.
Yeah.
And his angry father is standing next to him because he knows that he's not going to make all those shots in time.
No, his father's like, if only I could have this opportunity
to win a trip to Niagara Falls.
That's not what they were giving away.
I don't know.
The most advanced thing I saw was they gave a Mets travel mug. Which they charge $20 for it, but it's probably you spend $1 for it at any bodega.
Oh man, that's even worse.
Yes,
having to feel like a failure as a child because you didn't win your father a Mets travel mug.
A tchotchke.
A Mets tchotchke.
You couldn't get me that tchotchke, you fat fuck, you fat fuck 4-year-old.
As the Mets are just eating shit in the background.
Yeah. There's just no one's at. You're eating ice cream. This is great. I want to live here. National. We got there. We walked into the stadium during the national anthem. I saluted. I'm not trying to start an ACAB riot here, right? I'm not trying to start an Antifa thing. I'll pay my. But then we got to our seats, and at one point, there was some kind of thing in between innings with saluting some your soldiers, and people started standing. I'm not standing again, but we did the national anthem.
Oh, right.
And there's and they just went to some guy, and it was Bob whatever, and there's a U.S. Army guy, and there's just some guy in the Army. Every time some guy comes back from Iran or wherever the fuck we are, and He was the guy who made eggs at like Abu Ghraib, and we got to fucking like stand up and salute him in a Met game. What is this?
He had he had kind of a nice auburn hair.
What? You trying to fuck this guy? What's going on? What are you talking about auburn hair? He had auburn hair. This army guy.
Well,
I didn't give him the sexual scan. I don't remember what his hair highlights were like. Tell me more. How big? What was his bulge? Was it pointy or girthy? Could you see the whole like length, or was it just the head shooting forward? Go on.
Well, it's like he had like a very.
Do you want me to go kill kids across the ocean and kill kids? Is that what you need? We can set this up.
He had a nice dad vibe.
All right. Well, ask. I don't want to say. I was going to say some name.
I support our military.
I would support him too, but let's just not. I don't think he's going to get a nice dad vibe. Like, I've killed women.
The thing is, like, I was
purpose. I'm just thinking, what if he's Chris Kyle?
I didn't stand, but I was clapping visibly.
Do you think the American Sniper had a nice dad vibe? Chris Kyle? I'm not saying I love the military, but it's just like, I think they would be the first ones to go. I wish they were. I have a lot more respect for the military if there was highlighting him at the fucking Met game, and he's like, Hey, first of all, I got PTSD, so chill out and put me on the big screen. I feel like I'm in a soccer stadium about to get my head beheaded. Flashbacks to that. Second of all, I did my part. What happened? I did my part in The Silent Guardian. Every guy thinking he's Batman. What happened to that? Every army guy wants to come back and be like, have a parade. Look, we don't give you a health care. You think we should give you a parade?
Well, to be fair,
there's some people who
did
say.
Did we ever have a parade for the end of the Iraq War?
I mean, in 2003. It was on a boat, remember? When George Bush pretended to fly a plane.
Oh, right.
It was fun.
But yeah, I was sitting down. I didn't stand up for it, but I was like, clapping along and stuff for him. But people were still looking at me like, "What?"
Did you want a parade after the
piece of shit?
Did you want a parade in Iraq for you want after the country collapsed and into sectarian violence for 15 years? Like, you think we should have had a parade afterwards? Is that what you? I mean, look, it would have been nice for the soldiers.
It would have been nice. To just have it could be a sad parade.
Half the people who fought in the war had already killed themselves when they came back. But yeah, let's have a parade now in 2021.
It could be a sober parade. A parade we're not going to celebrate.
No one's drinking?
Yeah, like a sober.
So you want a sober parade for a bunch of half of them probably alcoholics, unfortunately.
Unhappy parade.
I'm just saying, I'm not I would be an alcoholic. These are just these projections of what I would be if you sent me to Iraq and I had to go shoot people who were for no. I'm not blaming these guys.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying they would do what I would do, which is if I was there, just start shooting wildly into the crowd because I'm afraid. I assume there's a bunch of me's over there. Maybe there's not. Maybe they're trained, and maybe they're noble men who are brave. I don't know. I always assume I'm not the most unique person in the world, and that other people would just pull out, a grenade and just throw it in the air and see what happens.
I guess it's just hard for me to not clap when everyone else is clapping.
That's what makes me the Dark Knight. I can be the outcast. I can shoulder the burden of being un-American. I'm the un-American Dark Knight.
Who am I on the Batman universe?
The Penguin. No, the Penguin.
Harvey Dent?
Why are you Harvey Dent?
I don't know.
Who do you want to be?
I feel like Harvey Dent would clap for a soldier.
You're Harley Quinn.
I'm Harley Quinn?
Yeah. But the old school one. Not that you're not as hot as Margot Robbie, but you have more of the old school vibe of hey, Mr. J. I just picture you waving a mallet around and a little. I picture if you had the option of wearing Daisy Dukes or a cool unitard, you going for the unitard.
That's true. I would go for the unitard.
It's a cooler look.
Yeah.
I don't look. Yeah, Margot Robbie's hotter than the cartoon character, but that's not fun.
I always thought.
Hey, look at my ass. No, I'm here to be a whimsical villain.
I always hoped. I guess she's probably a little. She's aged out of it now. But I always hoped that Sherry Moon Zombie, Rob Zombie's wife, would play Harley Quinn.
I don't know who this person is. I played the Fifth Amendment.
She played Baby in the House.
Baby Driver. She was Baby Driver. I thought that was a guy. She's a really good actress.
No, she was Baby in House of a Thousand Corpses.
Oh, I saw that movie like 20 years ago. I'm not like you. I don't rewatch Rob Zombie films every Christmas and think while I eat my fig pudding. Bring up a picture. You have your phone. Let me look this up. Baby, what's her name?
I think it's Sherry Moon Zombie or Cheryl Moon Zombie.
This is a lot of names. Cheryl Moon Zombie. Cheryl.
She has that sort of high-pitched voice and the kinetic energy that I imagined Harley Quinn having. I think she would have been a better choice. I honestly think she could still be Harley Quinn.
I mean, your lips to God's ears.
Maybe in a series where they're both like old.
Oh, like the Dark Knight Returns? I mean, she's like she just seems like an older hot woman.
Yeah, but do you remember in House of that?
No, we established that. I don't remember that. let me write. Is that her? Is that her in the movie?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay, so she wears a cowboy hat, and that's what makes her this. So basically, anyone who wears a cowboy hat can be Harley Quinn.
But she has that kind of hee.
Okay.
Like she like a little. She's like a Harley Quinn.
You know who I think would have been good was Reese Witherspoon.
Reese Witherspoon.
Especially back in I remember her in Election, and you put Reese Witherspoon in Election, or even in Legally Blonde, into a Harley Quinn outfit, and she's got that spunky energy, and it's not something I've thought about a lot, but off the top of my head, I don't know. She seems too suburban to be like Harley Quinn. Didn't you ever see Freeway when she's playing a teenage hooker or something, and all that shit? I didn't. Yeah, it was like HBO Skinflix or whatever. I don't remember. I was a kid. I was a kid watching these things. I was very impressionable. Why are we talking so much about Harley Quinn? This is a bit of a detour. I don't know. We're here to talk about the Mets. But you be Harley Quinn in this universe. I'm sitting there. I mean, look, I love the military. Love them. All militaries. Mossad was not really a military. The IDF, the Palestinians who fight them. Whatever. I mean, I just like guns and conflict. I wish it didn't exist. I love our military. I think but whatever. What do you want me to do? You can't. Here's a problem. You can't, critique the war and act like, look, the troops are the warrior poets who fucking go around and, all they do is save babies. Look, you send people to war. They're gonna. That's why it's a problem. Because it makes men do horrible things. It's half the problems of war. Besides, the people get killed, the collateral damage, and that's the number one thing is that people go to war, they come back changed. I'm not making this up. This is a classic thing. It's a truism. I mean, go read the histories of the post-Afghan conflict in Russia when all the guys came back to Russia. I mean, half the problem in Russia half the reason the Soviet Union collapsed is because all these guys are coming back to either in coffins or amputated because of the Afghan conflict, whatever they called it, the Afghan war, and in the 80s, and they're all just disillusioned and there's a whole malaise, and I mean, look, war is bad. So we go, but no, and then they tell you, hey, look at this guy at the Met game. He was in the Army. They don't tell you what he did. And we're all going, yeah. No, look, I'm not saying he's a bad guy, but this is bad. Just blindly. So what if I feel like we've got to learn, because it's I view the Iraq war soldiers kind of like you might view the Vietnam soldiers. It's every soldier's like that. Why do you think the baby boomers were so fucked up? Because the World War II, everyone went to World War II and got fucked up, and then now they're raising these what turned out to be awful kids. Surprise, surprise. Yeah, but you could at least after World War II, you were the greatest generation, Yeah, because they killed Hitler, but whatever. Or look, honestly, he killed himself. They helped make Hitler. Look, to be fair, himself. Hitler killed himself. Yeah. But they took down the Nazis. But we're acting like these guys weren't all shell shocked and out of their minds. Well, sure, yeah. But it's Vietnam. It's it was more an existential crisis of we just did all that shit for nothing, basically. Well, sure. And then
Iraq War kind
No,
of the
look,
same.
it's always better when you can point.
We need to come up with a new idea.
It's always better when you can point to a famous suicide and go, "We caused that." I agree. I agree. Look, we made this guy kill himself.
We need to come up with a new idea for like a military parade. That's like a little bit more, like realistic. It's not quite as like, welcome home, boys.
Put him in a Marvel movie.
Yeah.
Just put that.
I know.
We look. You come in instead of a parade. Everyone look. We can do this now. I'm sure we have technology. It's not going to look the best. It's not going to be an Endgame or even Infinity War. We saw Black Widow a couple weeks ago. Not a great movie. Really, you wouldn't be doing anyone a disservice if you use this idea I'm about to tell you. But because it's not going to be the best version. But they're not going to we're not going to put every guy in a mocap suit and spend 8 hours analyzing every movement. But you come in, we put you in the equivalent of the thing with the TSA when you go to that body scanner, give you a quick scan, and then we throw every single soldier into one of these mass battles they have, these CGI battles. Their face goes on the thing. And it's going to look a little shitty, but it's going to be one of the shittier Marvel movies. All right? And that's the service you get. And
then we play that at a Mets game.
The whole movie?
Yeah. with the U.S. military.
The seventh inning stretch lasts 2.5 hours?
Yeah.
All right. I mean,
we're just gonna watch the entirety of Endgame with.
It's not gonna be Endgame. It's gonna be like Captain Marvel
with faces of U.S. soldiers superimposed.
Oh, so you want to just
onto that?
No. So you're thinking we're just gonna take over? No, this is not a novelty. This is not the thing when you go to a convention and you get like a cardboard cutout and you take a picture with them. This is not that. This is not when this is not one of those like expensive bar mitzvahs where like you pay to have the kid edited into like different movies. It's like, no, I'm talking about an actual Marvel film, not a good one. Yeah. Let's be honest. We're not going to compromise Spider-Man too close to home, whatever it's called. We're going to take the shitty one, like Black Widow, Captain Marvel. Am I only highlighting, look, the Thor movie, the early Thor movies suck too. I'm not trying to say the women movies all suck. They do, but it's not. It's because they don't. But
look, they don't put a lot of. They just don't seem to put a lot of like gusto or effort into this.
Right. It's not my fault for Lady Ghostbusters wasn't good. I mean, it's not my fault. I liked. What do I like? I like women. What women things do I like?
You like me?
Yeah, I like you. Thelma and Louise. I haven't seen it, but it seems great. I love Alien. That's a woman movie.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you're
Sarah
right.
Connor,
Alien is
Terminator
a woman movie.
You're not gonna pin this on me. All right. I'm just saying, no, but whatever. But we put it in one of the less good movies, and actual soldiers, and they're part of Thanos' army or whatever the hell.
Sure.
And that's your Vietnam.
Wait, they're part of Thanos' army?
Or the Wakanda army, but those have to be black, right? By default. Maybe if they're black, they go to the Wakanda army. Is there a shield anymore? I don't know. Where do you put the white guys?
You could put them in the Doctor Strange army.
Oh, they're just all like wizards.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's your Vietnam memorials, being a fake wizard in a Marvel movie. That's all. That's the offer. Take it or leave it. I mean, what do you want me to do? Fix war? I'd love to fix war. Let's talk about it. I mean, what's war? What's it good for? The MCU. That's what it is. So yeah. So I don't know about that guy. Did you enjoy the game?
I did.
This is another thing. I'm sorry. I took notes of things I observed during the game. Does that make me a bad? He should be going off the top of his dome, and he's got notes on his thing. They're usually on the computer, and I can effortlessly fucking. It's right there. I have it open. You don't see it, and it's just like. But now I gotta like open the iPad because the computer won't open. All right, so I'm sorry if I'm breaking the illusion a little bit. All right, I'm sorry you don't get everything always. Anyway, the guy, this Luis Guillermo guy, I think his name was, he comes out to a very interesting, because everyone's got their theme song. I don't know if that helps the batter, because they don't do it for the opposing team, you'll notice. It's only the home team. Opposing team comes out, besides the fact we're booing them, which I'm all for. I'm all for booing the opposing team. Fuck, you're making tons of money, maybe not even that much money, honestly, but fuck them. They look good. My girlfriend's trying to fuck them, apparently. Oh, no, that's the army guy. No, you did notice the Conforto.
Yeah. No, Conforto's a good looking guy.
I didn't mean that you're trying to fuck it, but you the fact I'm feeling cucked because like
I always liked Tyler Clippard.
What's I'm saying, or my Conforto. I'm looking at Conforto going, this son of a bitch. I know my girlfriend's looking at him going, wow, he looks good in that uniform. So I have no sympathy, even if you are just pulled up from the minor leagues for the day and you're making, 20. Some of these guys make $50,000 a year. Not even.
Oh, yeah?
Not the major league players, but sometimes you get pulled up from the minors, and I don't think and you get put back 2 games later. I don't think you're making that much money. But screw them anyway.
Do people really get put back 2 games later?
If you really shit the bed, sure.
Wow.
Well, because like the thing is, like people when you join, I don't know how much you know about this. I don't know a ton, but like it's not like basketball where like, you have the G League in basketball where like, over the summer you play. But if you're a good prospect, you're going to play in the NBA. But like when you get signed to the Mets, you go like in the minor leagues for like I think on average 3 to 5 years, and then you develop in the farm systems. And there's like multiple levels of like minor league ball. There's like AA, single A, triple A, whatever. So yeah, and the Mets I think right now are in a position where they're like for some reason their bench is always hurt lately, so they have to keep pulling guys in the farm games, right? So like guys are getting their shot, but if you go up there and you choke. I mean, it might give you another game. Some guys only get one start.
Right.
And you get put right back. And I'm acting like, boo, because my girlfriend thinks you look good in the uniform. And he's like, I make $30,000 a year. And it's like, good, boo. But that being said, but this guy, wow, that was a long tangent. Because this guy comes on to a very strange song. Do you remember?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and you start bursting laughing every time.
Right.
But he comes out to the theme song of the show, Louie.
Louie.
Which I just think is hilarious. I mean, at first I'm like, wait, is that an old song? And you were pretty confident, no, that's just a song they wrote for the show, Louie.
I'm pretty sure it's just a song. I mean, look, I might be wrong.
Either way, I'm not here trying to say Louie should stay in disgrace forever or anything like that.
But it's like, it's weird on 2 levels.
Yeah.
I think he definitely picked that song. Because it's weird on 2 levels. One, because it was the theme song to the show Louie.
Right, which is a great show.
Which is a great show. But, for obvious reasons, it's weird.
Because he pulled his dick out.
Yeah.
A lot. And ask people to watch him masturbate.
And then also, the song has tragic lyrics.
Louie, you're gonna die. Yeah, no, it's an interesting decision. I just think it would be really funny if he just pulled his, he just pull his dick out on the mound.
He just steps out of the batter's box.
Yeah. Hey, Louie. Like he's from like a different country, and he just thinks it's like, I know down there they think it's great, or up there, wherever he's from. I mean, he's probably down in South America, probably, or Mexico maybe, or a lot of them come from the DR, the Dominican Republic, right? I'm not trying to imply that in the Dominican Republic, if a man started whipping out his dick at a ball game, they'd all clap. But maybe. Like I'm saying, maybe somewhere in the world this is cool.
I don't know.
Probably not. I'm just open-minded. But either way, and look, to be clear, he wasn't doing that. I just think it would have been very funny if he did. Again, not to disgrace Louie anymore. I like Louie. I don't know.
Yeah. Me too.
You want to talk about that for a while? When he was dressing down the Columbine kid, the Parkland kids.
Oh, the Parkland.
I was on his side.
Yeah.
Those kids, the kids were.
that was a funny joke.
They were slow.
It was a brutally funny joke.
Yeah.
You hid behind a fat kid. It's a really funny joke. Yeah.
Nah, this country's going to hell.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was funny. Was there anything else in the ball game worth mentioning? Sorry, I have to keep. Opening my notes. No, I mean, it started to get kind of dark. I mean, the crowd left. We were like some of the last people there.
Yeah.
Because, it got, like, people were just getting drunker and then just left.
They were losing. The Mets were losing.
We stuck around because we're loyal people. But we'll move on. This is the first time Lucie's been here for one of the Batman segments where I bring up what I call my depression Batmans. Where I buy... to satiate my, at this point, I don't know. I mean, this is evidence of the depression. I don't feel depressed, but obviously if I'm buying these Batmans, this is the Batman Beyond. Now, I started watching this show last week. It's from the 90s. And do you know the premise of Batman Beyond?
I don't.
It is basically so Batman. This is not the traditional Batman suit. These little things here. These are supposed to be like the jet flames coming out of his boots. So it starts out when Batman's like 50 or whatever, and he's in the first episode. He's wearing this suit, I guess, I guess he's made a new suit, and he has a heart attack while he's trying to save some woman, and he ends up like pulling a gun, taking some guy's gun, almost shooting him. And so he retires. And then this kid, 20 years later in the future or something, through a bunch of circumstances, ends up becoming his, and he sits in the Batcave, watching everything, Bruce Wayne. And like this guy goes around, actually fighting people.
Crime. Yeah.
Fighting crime. With Bruce Wayne is here. It's a cool
concept. And what's
concept.
this guy's name?
Terry McGinnis. It's strange. It's a little unusual. It's not the worst name, but it's a little odd. It doesn't have the same thing as Bruce Wayne. Bruce Wayne, Terry McGinnis. Whatever. I like the suit. I think it's a cool enough show. It's originally made for children probably, but it's one of those. It's good. I don't know if I relate to him though, because if you're Batman, part of being Batman is just I've talked about it before. You're the model of human determination and perfection and just develop and being over prepared and just like and you can't do that. That's against the law. And you make your own law because you have your code. This kid lets some old man tell him what to do all the time. Can you imagine that being Batman, but you let some old man? I don't care if he was Batman. Like the real Batman should be like, I don't give a shit who you are.
And there's never a turning point where he just takes the reins.
Maybe not. Maybe you're sitting there at home. If you watch this show, you go, you didn't get to episode 60 where he said, "Enough of you, old man," and I'll eat crow if that happens. And look, I don't think it's a bad show because but that would be a great moment if he's like, because honestly, it's not like Bruce is occasionally. I mean, at one point he steals the suit originally, and he's fighting these guys, and Bruce Wayne shuts it off remotely. And he starts getting, they almost killed the kid. He's in high school. He almost let a high schooler die because he stole a suit. But, whatever. My point is that's just Batman. I would never let a child or an old man tell me anything.
So those, the sort of, the kind of amber things coming out of his feet, those are jets.
Those are the flames. That's how in action figures they denote flame. It's I know it's plastic here, but it's supposed to be flames.
No, I can see it as flames.
Yeah. Give it a 360 look. or the 270 look.
Who are the villains in Batman Beyond?
Well, Mr. Freeze makes a comeback so far. I'm only like 7 episodes in. But there is like basically this guy, I think his name is Powers, and he is the overarching villain who he bought Wayne Enterprises out from under Bruce Wayne somehow, and he's like the overarching villain. He has his father killed. His father worked for the guy, and then he had him killed. Which is none of this is interesting for the podcast. The whole point of bringing this up is that this guy's supposed to be Batman. He's listening to an old man who pissed himself probably. Yeah, I know you used to defeat the League of Shadows or whatever, the League of Assassins, but you piss yourself. Fuck you. I would kill Bruce Wayne and become Batman.
Does Bruce Wayne really piss himself in the series?
I imagine he does.
How old is Bruce Wayne?
70 probably. And he does fight a bunch of in the first episode he does fight some guys, some punks who were trying to take him on. Look, he was Batman. Like he was just like Mr. Miyagi fights people. Although but Bruce Wayne keeps needing his heart medication. I'm just saying, episode 3, if I'm the Batman Beyond boy, I'm putting a pillow on his head. Like, thanks for the stuff. Now this is, I can't have you around. You did your part. Go to sleep. And he's struggling. Like, go to sleep. And then Batman. No more Batman.
No more Batman.
And I changed the name to Catman. Or something. Or Ratman. I would change it to Ratman. Because he looks like a rat, right? If I told you this is a rat. I mean, he looks more like a cat than a bat, honestly, this guy. But I would just call it Ratman. I don't think he actually writes Batman anywhere, but if there was, I would use change. You put an R over the B. Cost effective. So that's our segment for yeah. That was nice.
What do you ever reflect on why you got the Batman?
got the Batman, or
yeah, what
or the
compelled
multitude?
you to get this Batman? Because you have a lot of Batmans.
Right. I liked the way he looked, and I said, and it made me. I ordered it on impulse from same day delivery from GameStop, because it was like there's no more Batmans to buy, and so like but this one, and I didn't want to buy it because I never watched the show. So while it was being delivered on its way to me, I started watching the show, so I would have I wouldn't feel bad, but.
Oh, so you got this before you started watching the show?
Yeah, but just before. By the time I opened it, I'd seen an episode or two.
What if you hadn't liked Batman Beyond? What if you thought it was stupid?
It looks pretty cool.
Yeah, that's true. It does.
And people gave the show a good review. I had a feeling it was going to be all right. What's your take on these Batmans?
There's a lot of them. I mean, look, it's. I support anything. I support buying toys. I think it's fun.
Don't call them toys.
No, they're toys.
On the box, it says not a toy. I'll show you.
What does it say?
It says not a toy.
But what is it then?
I don't know.
I support you buying Batman action figures. Okay? Because I think that
Next week I'll show you. I'm going to show you the box.
I think it's the kind of thing that can keep you in touch with your childhood and your sense of wonder.
Sure.
There are a lot of them. So I'm wondering, like, how many Batmans is enough?
Depends on how many they make. I mean, they keep making them, right? I mean, if they stop making Batmans, I mean, I'll stop buying them.
Sure.
No, I don't know. I mean,
we did see an amazing Batman
that
in the comic book store we went to.
I didn't think it was that amazing. It was pretty good. I mean, there are other things.
I thought it was amazing. There was a flowing blue cape.
It was the Hush Batman, basically.
It was big.
Yeah.
He was a big Batman.
It was a statue.
Yeah.
You'd be cool with me buying that?
I mean, I think I'd like to have that one.
I'll get it.
We could keep it like, maybe that could be our logo.
So then that we've crossed over into enabling now.
I guess we'd have to get the rights to it.
No, people do this all the time. What are you talking about? We already have a Batman. I have the rights to this. We think I made a deal with McFarlane Toys and Batman to feature their toy. I'm advertising. Hey, McFarlane, why don't you send me some Batmans so I don't got to fucking worry about my girlfriend thinking I'm wasting money. All right, let's scratch my fat back a little bit, will you? We watched a documentary this weekend.
Yeah.
On Woodstock 99. It was on HBO Max. Do you remember what it was called?
Music Box?
It was part of a series called Music. I think the guys from The Ringer made it. I like the Ringer shows, the basketball sports stuff. It was an interesting doc. I don't know if I loved the talking heads that much, but the just seeing, because you don't remember, Woodstock 99 was the one where it ended with fires and rapes and
Yeah.
a lot of fires and rapes. What was your takeaway from the documentary?
I mean, I just didn't like that there was so much just like I mean, it felt, honestly, like it felt kind of sloppy.
Yeah.
Because it's like, they're talking about this like one woman, right? Who was like sexually assaulted, right?
At one point they were, yeah.
And
because there weren't one woman. It wasn't just, the whole concert didn't rape one woman.
yeah.
That would be so bad.
But like, there was this like one woman that they talked about specifically.
Sure, yeah.
And like,
imagine one woman was raped by the entire concert.
by the entire
God.
crowd.
I mean, that's just
But yeah, it's like,
condolences.
so they're talking about her and
Thoughts
like
and prayers.
Yeah. And so they're talking about her and like, then over it, they're having this discussion about like women being naked at the festival, and they're showing all this stock footage of like different women like being naked and then like, having their tits grabbed and kind of giggling.
Right.
And I'm like, but like these women aren't the ones who said they were sexually assaulted.
At least not at the time.
Yeah.
Like that, like,
so
they might have also been sexually assaulted, but that wasn't what they thought of as it.
Or at the very least, like it's like, this isn't the one you're talking about. Like
right.
it's like,
yeah.
like
it seems, look, it's the kind of thing we see. We both know how these things are made.
Yeah.
But in a situation like it's one thing to cut for a guy to say something in a talking head, because these things are basically the way these are cut. You shoot an interview for however many hours, and the editor finds selects, and then you find B-roll to go over it. So the guy says rape, and you find a picture of a woman getting her tit grabbed. Like
Right.
in other things, it may it's not. You don't have to be so. I think it's a little more. In this particular case, it's more egregious to just kind of loosely put some random woman who happens to be.
Right. I mean, it's like. It feels like it sort of starts like begging. Honestly, it felt like the documentary itself was like victim blaming her because it's like it's like at a certain point it starts like begging the question. It's like, oh, like was she like also crowd surfing naked?
To be
like,
clear, this documentary is also overly woke. Is the problem?
It was an obnoxiously woke documentary.
Yeah, we're not going here. They were victim blaming. That's why it sucked. The whole every white man was the problem. Look. There's a certain kind. There's certain kinds of everyone, they were like frat boy Limp Bizkit fans. Didn't help.
Yeah.
But it's like, well, white men have a rage. It's like mob mentality is a thing. And herd mentality is a thing. When people can't shit and they can't piss and they
there
can't
was basically
sleep.
one talking head who was entirely there just to be like, there were young white men there,
Right.
And they were very angry. And it's like, yeah, but it's like also there was no water or food. And it's like, it was just, and it did all descend into anarchy.
And Fred Durst was literally doing like a Hitler speech.
Yeah.
When they started blaming Fred Durst, because Limp Bizkit was the point, I think, not when it ended, but when the rioting when they started tearing stuff apart at first. And then the next day it really got bad. But I thought it was going to be because he was like, yeah, that song break stuff. And he's like, yeah, get your aggression out. But then at one point he starts going like, you got to start thinking about your job or the fact that you don't have a woman or the fact that, people don't respect you or the fact that, you're part of a system and you're being kept down by classes. Like, what is this guy doing?
Yeah. And he started being like, it's like, I want you to let all that negative energy out here.
Yeah.
Right? It's like.
And whistle. Is that what you thought? I just thought they were going to start whistling.
Right.
No, I mean, they started climbing the rafters and pulling plywood off. I mean, look, does he belong in jail? More than a lot of people, I would say. I mean, I'm not a throw guys in jail first kind of guy.
I think there's a better argument that he incited the riots at 99 than that Trump incited the riots on January 6th.
It's a much more direct causal thing, to be honest. I mean, if we're gonna look, I do think Trump is culpable to an extent. Yeah. But if we're gonna say that, then Fred Durst was definitely culpable. I mean, Fred Durst might as well be the ringleader of the riots. Yeah, so I was thinking about starting my own festival. But then having all security guards just dressed like Batman. Ooh. Only hire fat guys. Bunch of fat Batman roaming around. And so they see him getting raped. They'll just be able to beat them up. This is a recipe for fascism, probably. So I say, and then they're wearing a mask and you can't tell. It's basically who did it? A Batman. Well, everyone's dressed like Batman.
And then also, if people are having consensual sex, they'll beat them up.
Yeah, because the kind of guy. Look, I mean, we're not hiring Delta Force guys. We're hiring guys who work at GameStop or whatever. No offense if you do, but you're not necessarily qualified to distinguish, consent, and whether or not you should physically beat up people who are having sex. Right. Yeah. But nonetheless, I would do that, and I would. There'd be a zero rape. At my festival, there'd be a zero rape policy. It's not a promise, but a policy. I'm not gonna guarantee it. I'm not dumb. I'm not gonna guarantee you don't get raped. What if you do?
The zero rape festival.
The zero rape rule.
The zero rape rule Batman festival. Yeah,
Batman rock concert festival. And it's just Metallica, and then Batman's beating up crowd surfers, paralyzing people. What do you think?
Sounds great.
Yeah. Did you ever go to a festival? What's the most crazy concert you ever went to? Big. I don't understand why people need to go to festivals. By the way, why can't we were talking about this? Why can't you just like go. You made a great point. It seems like people who aren't that into music, because like people I know who are into music go to concerts all the time. They're not always. It's not always like. I mean, nowadays we don't even have like the big bands like we had back in the '90s, where it's like I could see Metallica, I could see Buckcherry, I could see Everclear, I could see Seven Dust and Seven Mary 3.
Anyone who wants to see, this is like the thing with Woodstock '99 too, is that it's like anyone who wants to see Jewel and Limp Bizkit just doesn't have a personality.
No.
Like it's like it's like, just go to a Red Hot Chili Peppers concert.
But I mean, look, in the '60s, didn't you have people who liked Jimi Hendrix and Joan Baez?
Probably, but they were both good.
Yeah, it's good. Well, Jewel's good.
Well, Jewel's great, but Limp Bizkit.
Oh, okay, that's your point. Limp Bizkit. Yeah, I mean, I don't know anyone who raps for Limp Bizkit anymore. I mean, the cover of Fate they did was good. It was only like slightly. Do I like it more than the original Fate by George Michael? A little bit, just because the only difference is that it's a little faster at one point. I think it worked well.
Right.
But anything they wrote, I never liked. But they did make that movie. Did we watch that movie together with John Travolta, where he was the fanatic?
Michael?
No, with the angel?
The angel.
We didn't watch that together. I've never seen that movie.
Face Off?
No, the one where he's a stalker.
Oh, right.
Fred Durst directed that.
Really? That was pretty good.
It got 18% Rotten Tomatoes, so I don't think everyone agrees with us, but I kind of enjoyed it. It was like
it was silly and fun.
It was who was the guy? It was what's his name? From Final Destination. Devon Sawa. It was an old he was stalking Devon Sawa in the movie. Remember Devon Sawa? He was in Slackers.
Oh right, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, and John Travolta plays like a mentally handicapped guy who like stalks him and tries to kill him.
It's pretty fun.
So I mean, my point is, if we put Fred Durst in jail, we wouldn't get that movie, which I think a lot of people would be fine with. But I kind of enjoyed it. So I don't know. Would I recommend the documentary? It's cool just to see what happened. I remember.
Yeah, I mean, some of the footage is pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, it got pretty hairy. I mean, I remember like the one that
there were like multiple fires.
The co-promoter or whatever, the fatter guy, not the guy from the original Woodstock, but the other guy was like, MTV had slanted the whole weekend. They wanted to paint this is a great festival. They only wanted to focus on the fires that happened, but not the people who enjoyed the festival. But I remember when MTV like broke onto the the news coverage or whatever, and was like. People getting raped at Woodstock. There's a lot of flames. I'm like, oh. I was kind of at an age where like I wanted to go with that, but I was still a little too young probably. I mean, some people were I was like 14 probably, and there were some people there who were 14.
Right.
Who were raped, which is awful.
Yeah.
I don't think I would. Well, who knows? Would I have been raped? I mean, I think it was mostly women. But I'm just saying, like, either way, I wasn't allowed to go.
Yeah.
But I remember being like, oh, but it was more than...
We want to make a movie.
What's that?
We want to make a movie about this. Like a super badass movie.
Oh, right. Do you remember? I don't remember. Do you remember the gist of what my thing was?
The gist of it is like, it's kind of like in the vein of Superbad.
Yeah.
But it's two kids, 14-year-olds.
Yeah.
You're one of them.
Right.
And you're trying to get to Woodstock 99.
Yeah. Oh, and then like, yeah, basically it's like all these shenanigans happen, or like the American Pie, like we're watching a fat guy rape a pie, or whatever happens in kid sex movies, or what are they called? Not kid sex movies. That's terrible. But honestly, anyone who directs a coming of age sex comedy is like already a pedophile, right?
Oh, sure.
I mean, like
Probably.
who's comfortable? Like, I want to make a movie about a bunch of 14-year-olds trying to have sex. And then one of them bangs an adult. This you want to direct this? This seems weird, but whatever. But so whatever, like the stock. But at the end, he finally gets to the festival, and then he goes over a hill. I don't know if there's a hill, and then it's just like Gangs of New York. The big scene of Gangs of New York is just, whoa, and I think that could be a good film.
Yeah,
and it's called Woodstock 90 rape. Woodstock 90 rapes. Yeah. So thank you guys for tuning. That's we're gonna end on that note.
Yeah.
You have anything you want to promote?
Not really. Do
People
you
can
have
find
anything
you?
you want to promote?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Kump. You can sign up for the Patreon. You get an extra episode every week. Links in the bio. All that junk. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'll see you guys soon.